weekend is what went wrong for LA. They didn't think they could win yesterday. They didn't have the energy of a team that thought – it's not that they didn't think they could win that game. They didn't think they could win the series. And so they didn't seem like they came out as a team that, backs against the wall. I think that when you are championship or bust, which this Lakers team was the moment they got Luka, when it became crystal clear we can't win a championship, it sapped all their charisma's the wrong word, but their
energy.
Not Riz.
Oh. Fight. Energy.
Cowherd used Riz on his show 40 minutes ago.
Well, they were lacking Riz.
Okay.
What is Riz?
It's short for charisma. It doesn't matter. Okay. Let's get back to the show. And Brew, they're lucky they didn't lose by 30 last night. The fact that Minnesota shot.
Yeah, they shot horribly.
Well, how about, you guys remember the famous 0 for 27 game from the Rockets? That game, the Rockets shot, Kevin O'Connor told me this morning, couldn't believe it, 7 of 44 from 3. The Minnesota last night was 7 of 47. They were worse than the Rockets in the worst three-point shooting playoff game ever, and they won anyway. And so, that is what went wrong for the Lakers. I will, because unlike Wilds, but much like Brew, will take accountability for incorrect predictions. Predictions are one thing, analysis is another. And what I think the failure in my analysis of this Lakers playoff run, which was far more abbreviated than I thought it would be, I think far more abbreviated than almost anyone thought it would be. It was not because I thought all of a sudden they were going to have a great defense, and I kept saying that. It was that I thought they had shown that they can have a passable defense, and I thought the offense that I saw a few weeks ago score 126 against the best defense in basketball, Oklahoma City, and then a couple days later score 110 through 3.5 quarters against that same best defense would just overwhelm Minnesota. None of that happened. Minnesota's length, youth, strength, and tenacity overwhelmed the Lakers, and I think the errors that went along with Brew, the Lakers consistently running out of gas in the fourth quarters of these games, ended up making them run out of spirit in Game 5, and they just didn't have it. So everything went wrong.
Your last point leads me to mine. I got several things as well. The biggest surprise, and you talked about the great offense we thought they'd have, is that their two superstars didn't deliver in the fourth quarter or in the clutch time. These games came down to the fourth quarters, all right? Game 3, it was tied 1-1. Game 3, Minnesota entered the fourth quarter leading by 2 points. They ended up winning by 12, outscored them by 10. Game 4, the Lakers entered the fourth quarter leading by 10 points. They ended up losing by what, 13?
By 3.
By 3.
Yeah, lost
the quarter by 13.
Yep.
Game 5 last night, I agree with you, Nick. I thought LeBron looked physically spent.
Yes.
But the fact of the matter is, going into the fourth quarter, Minnesota led by a point and then ends up winning by 7. So in those 3 games, Minnesota outscored the Lakers by 29 points in the fourth quarter. Over the series, it was by 42 points, which no one would have predicted. The Lakers were the 7th best clutch team in the league this year. The Timberwolves were the 7th worst.
Weird.
So it flipped entirely, and the Lakers shot 29% for the series in fourth quarters, in the 5 fourth quarters. That's the worst in any single postseason by a team ever.
Okay. And this brings me to my point, though, because I talked about that this was going to happen, and a lot of people got mad at me. A lot of Lakers fans and Bron fans and Luka fans, and and they were saying oh, you're a hater, and I'm not. I was just being accurate. I said that LeBron in the playoffs it's not the same during the regular season. The level of intensity that you need in the playoffs, LeBron, unfortunately, no longer can bring. And I said, you cannot rely on LeBron anymore in the playoffs. And people laughed at me when I said that. And then here you have a 22-point game. In the fourth quarter, on Game 4, he had 0 points. Multiple mistakes, a bad foul, a turnover. Like that's what LeBron is right now, and it's a bummer. And I'm like, I am far from a LeBron hater, but it's just like, it's the reality. LeBron can't be great in the playoffs. He can have great moments. He can no longer be Steph Curry or Kevin Durant. He could be Klay Thompson in the playoffs. He can go off for a quarter. He can have a big game and really put the team on his back. But he cannot be the person that you rely on game after game after game, series after series after series. And then people said to me, oh, yeah, but, he doesn't have to be the first or second option. He could be the third with Austin Reeves. And I was like, no way. We just assume that these players can play great in the playoffs when the moments matter most, just because they've done it in the regular season or have had a few handful of games in the playoffs in seasons past. But it is ridiculously difficult for these players to be great and special in the playoffs game after game after game. That is for Kobe Bryant. That is for LeBron James. That is for Steph. That is for KD. That is for Jokic. That is for Giannis. Like, it's not just the Austin Reeves. Maybe one day, but not today, obviously. Ant is up and coming. No one can confuse Ant for Austin Reeves. No one. And Ant is not quite consistent yet in the playoffs like that. 1 minute he has a 43-point game. The next minute he has like a 22-point game. The players like who Austin Reeves are right now are not the guys where they would say, I need to have a big game, so I'm going to have a big game. If Steph knows he needs to have a big game, he has a big game. If Kevin Durant knows he needs to have a big game, he has a big game. If LeBron knows he needs to have a big game, he has a big game. Although not now, because he just can't bring it. And it's the reality that the Lakers have to reconcile with. You also got a front row seat with the problems of Luka. He can be an absolute monster and a beast. And the guy makes shots look so effortless. If you just saw him, you would think that like every shot's just luck, that he's just out of shape and a bum and can't really play and is just playing rec ball, but he does it all the time. And so he just, he's obviously unbelievable and amazing. But he struggles to fit within a team, within the rhythm of a game. And yes, he complains to the refs and goes on the ground and then just lays there for a while and he doesn't hustle back. Those things catch up to you. In the playoffs, they matter so much. And now we've seen multiple series. All of the little things really come back and bite Luka. Sometimes he can overcome it by hanging 38 points, 40 points, and hitting big shots. But you can see how things kind of start to unravel. That is something that Luka needs to mature and grow and evolve from. Otherwise, he will always have this. And also the defense. They saw that they were going after him defensively nonstop. You would have thought that it was like, going after little Isaiah out there from the Celtics. Like a little 5-footer. I mean, that's how much they were going after Luka. Like those things matter in the playoffs, man. Those things matter. And a lot of times in a lot of your big moments, you need your superstars to be able to play like lockdown, tough defense. There's a big moment where it's like, it's all coming down to this. Better believe, even though LeBron James isn't known to be the greatest defender in the world, better believe it's his job to stop that. And he does it. Kobe Bryant, Draymond Green, whatever it may be. It's their time to be the superstar on the defensive side of the ball. And Luka does not have that. Steph doesn't have that either, but Steph is able to overcome it with all of the other little things. He plays within the team. He has the hustle. He does everything he can. And the Warriors were constructed around in those moments. Draymond Green's going to get it. Klay Thompson's going to get it. And the Lakers don't have that in those moments. Those other players were able to rise to the occasion. The Lakers do not. That's just the reality. That's how you lose in the first round 4-1. And make no mistake about it, the Minnesota Timberwolves were awesome. They were deep. They were aggressive. They were assertive. They were young, but also veterans. They were a very, very, very balanced team. Very balanced team. And like I said about the basketball playoffs, sometimes you play the best team first round. Sometimes like the first round is the Western Conference Finals. You don't really see that as much in football because of the structure of the wild card and how the seeding works. But basketball, since things can be kind of so close together with the seeding, it's like sometimes there's such a huge difference between being the 2 seed and being the 7 seed here, and you can just get some weird matchups. And so looking at like you look at the Timberwolves and you're like, they're the 6 seed. How does that make sense? They look like they're better than the Warriors. They look like they're better than the Rockets. They look like they're better than every team outside maybe the OKC. And it's tough because OKC played, pretty much no one their first playoff run, their first playoff series. So it's, and I'm not talking about the regular season. I'm talking about specifically playoffs, because that was the thing that I called out Nick for, because Nick was like, I saw what they did against OKC and I saw what they did. That's regular season. That's what I kept saying. It's regular season. And OKC is not playing lockdown defense when they already got the number 1 seed locked up. They're not trying to send a message. They're trying to just, stick the landing to get into the playoffs fully healthy, ready to go. It's basketball in the regular season has wildly different incentives, especially in the final couple weeks. Everyone's playing for something different, and you're getting a mismatched level of effort. 100%. So my concern with the Lakers was always LeBron can't be that guy in the playoffs consistently. And so do the Lakers have enough? You're relying on Luka, Reeves, and a bunch of other cast of characters. And the answer is no. The answer is no. And it wasn't just a wrong prediction that Nick was saying. Because now he's like, predictions can be wrong. No, he literally said that the Los Angeles Lakers, if they got the 3 seed, were guaranteed to get to the Western Conference Finals. He was just like, they have a one-way ticket to the Western Conference Finals, and then they're going to face OKC, and then there you go. He said the Lakers were the most dangerous team in the NBA. He gave them the second best odds in his title pie, 25% to win. He gave the Minnesota Timberwolves 2%. So those weren't predictions. That was just wrong analysis, incorrect analysis, a misunderstanding of who LeBron James is right now. If LeBron James was still that 30, 10 and 10 guy consistently and great defense and can really bring it for 38, 42 minutes a game, and not just playing those minutes, but I mean playing those minutes, then yeah. Luka and LeBron and a true Austin Reeves being the third option, not needing him to go off, but in some of those random games that you do need your third option just to go off, he can be there. But they needed someone like Austin Reeves to also be a 30-point dog game after game after game. And he's not that. At least not now. Maybe one day, but he's obviously not that now. If he was, he would have done it. So that's what happens. You make the prediction that the Lakers have a guaranteed spot in the Western Conference Finals, and they end up winning 1 playoff game. That is, you have to face that reality and wrestle with that reality. Doesn't make you a hater. Doesn't make you a doubter. It's just the reality of the situation. LeBron, they need to build a team around LeBron. If LeBron's going to keep playing, he needs to be the third option. You cannot build a team at this point in LeBron's career and expect him to be the first or second option in the playoffs. Can he do it for a couple games? Absolutely. Can he do it for 16 potential wins? Dude, no. It's amazing what he's able to do right now. Amazing. And it's inspiring and motivating. But you saw the series yourself. He needs to be the true bona fide third option. And we know in basketball, though, if you have someone like Luka who would be the number 1, you need an absolute dog as number 2. And Austin Reeves is more 3 than 2. So it's a tough one. I'm not entirely sure what the Lakers do moving forward or LeBron does moving forward. But, it's a tough spot. It's a tough spot. And even some of the whispers are like, oh, well, they'll get Kyrie, this, that. Then that continues to put you at a limitation on defense. Luka, LeBron, and Kyrie in the starting lineup, that's limited defensively, especially because LeBron will be 42 now. You're talking about a whole nother year. And Kyrie's always getting banged up, and I don't even know how realistic that'll be, or even if the Lakers want to go that route. It's a tough spot. It's a tough spot, and you saw Rudy Gobert feast, absolutely feast in that game. Rudy Gobert looked like literally one of the greatest basketball players I've ever saw. Seriously, when you're watching that game, if you didn't know anything else about Rudy Gobert and you just saw that game, you'd be like, is that one of the greatest basketball players I've ever seen? I mean, he just did whatever he wanted. It was one of those kids who hit puberty and is now, he's 14 years old and he's playing with kids that are half his size. You're just like, oh my God, this is stupid easy. Rudy Gobert made it look stupid easy. That's a problem. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think? about LeBron James, Los Angeles Lakers. What do you think went wrong? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment. So whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and I absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to. Something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're all on our way to doing it. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.